Okay, today is the 21st of April 2023. So I'm gonna give you a gist on what today is like and how today is going. I just hopped off the call with the consultant on my LinkedIn. You know the way we have lots of social media platform, and each of the social media platform, you know, have their own active users. TikTok is for people who want to while away time, where you get to see lots of people dance, short comedy skits. TikTok is a place of vibes. You head over to Instagram, it's the lifestyle place. Everybody's everybody reach for Instagram. It's where everybody's trying to meet up a particular image. Everybody wants to be classy, bushy, everyone wants to be fancy. It's the sunny app where everyone wants to be happy. And then you move over to Facebook. Facebook is where you get to see the cold, windy, cloudy setting, where it's a bit cold, like it's an evening. It's just see people at the same position you left them. It's solely on Facebook, you see somebody stay close to an uncompleted building and take a picture. Facebook is where you see people who you grew up with, basically almost the same way you left them. And you still see some people, if anybody who is doing well doesn't stay on Facebook again, they port to Instagram. So Facebook is where you can connect with people whom you have known, people you grew up with, people who you know in person. I think they're called Facebook friends. YouTube is where you want to learn anything at all you want to learn. YouTube is Google. It's the search engine of videos where you're being taught virtually anything you want to learn. Watch limited movies. You can watch vintage movies. YouTube is one whole stop, right? Now these are social media platforms where you get to relate. We shouldn't go to Twitter. Twitter is not for the faint-hearted. It's where you have people tell you your life history over nothing, like basically a minor little comment with sticker and pillow. You see somebody's coming up with machine gun and bazooka. Twitter is where everybody's upset and they're doing who they're doing. Now, these are the social media platforms we all know. There is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is where the business people go to stay. You know that thing where they say like minds relate and like minds are always having their own space. I think that's how they put it. That is where you have your own space with people on LinkedIn. That is where you get to see business minded people. Um, you want to relate, so you want to know more about a CEO of a particular company. Beautiful, you can do that on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, an ad is coming into this video. Didn't even see that on time. Oh, let me play the song by Davido. Okay, so I walked the consultant today, and the meeting we had was just basically about my LinkedIn profile. Um, I wouldn't want to use the word local champion because I feel being local basically means when you're just out to one geographic area, and so having been someone who travels out often, sees other part of the world, I feel maybe I can't really justify calling myself local. But I feel local in a way, in a sense that my presence is not felt on social media. I'm not really a social media person. In fact, most people who know me will tell me why you're not yet verified. With how consistent you have been in making content. I think it was basically because I wasn't really focused on building me as a brand. For the past how many years, some people don't even know me. I think it's of recent people I know my name is Dannyokec. I've always been called the Renap Sky. And I basically stayed in the shadow of the Renaps. It was this Renaps guy. That would have still gotten me verified because I was making lots of headline. But then the Renaps was more about sports betting, which is football gambling. And whenever it comes to anything gambling, as long as you're a gambling sensation, you would need a gambling license. So that means I have to go to the government and get a license, for running a gambling company, which I can't even advertise on any social media Google, YouTube, Facebook, any of them, because I'm usually being told I need to present a gambling license. So I was local in the sense that I kept myself dead, and why I consistently pushed in the petition company forward. And now I have been able to raise up quite a little fortune for my level, and I've been able to venture into diverse businesses. But the problem is, I'm now bringing in my image for the first time, and I'm local because no one really knows about me anyway. Let's say, for instance, I'm the founder and the chairman of the Danokec Group, which is my company that commemorates, every single company I own. The Danokec Group was just recently merged. We started up the process last year, 2022. Um, Before then, I had a couple of platforms which were not even directly tied to me. Like, these platforms had their own name, and I had my own name. Like, I'm not always brought. I'm not always brought in the limelight to the companies. So it's basically like, okay, I'm there. It's only when you advert is kicking in again. Sorry about this. What music can I? Okay, one, I'm not even hearing the song at the moment because I don't know what is wrong with my audio setup. So no need to pick another music. I'm not hearing it. Where was I? I think it skipped me up a bit. Okay, in a nutshell, I want to be able to start refining what my online presence looks like. I have a couple of businesses. I want to be able to start building visibility around them. Most of my businesses are offline, not online. And now, because the only business I have online before now was the Rain apps. Basically, I wasn't even able to talk much about it. I think I wasn't even pushing the Rain apps brand as much as I could. So, what I'm actually doing or implementing at the moment is to start building up a presence. Every single company, every angle of my business needs that visibility. Yesterday, I created a Twitter page, the Danokec Group Twitter page. I also created a page on LinkedIn. And now, this is where sometimes I think I have my own personal problems. It's working with the wrong people. I think sorry about that. Sorry for the little cut in transmission. This is where I talk much about getting the right people. The Danokec Group project, danokecgroup.com, I had outsourced someone to help me handle and see through the project. And it did not go well. It did not go well because I hate issuing blames. I feel partially it's me. I don't do standoff. Standoff is where you give someone a task every single day, 2 days, 3 days. You give the person a Google Meet call and you ask them, "Oh, what have you done within this past few days? Give me a breakdown of your progress and all that." I don't do that often, with my developers. And that was how the NokiaGroup.com project wasn't launched or completed last month. Sometimes I feel bad about these things, but I try not to, stay in the pain. It's the 1 month is gone, it's gone. You can't go back in time to make it happen. So moving forward, I also got someone I know. I think I shared this just the other day, a UI UX who have had our ups and downs. And I still gave him a second chance this time around to do it. And okay, got agency. He just told me that he will never just stop being him. And that's contracts. I've not even written him a letter. I'm gonna write him a letter after making this. Just that I would regrettably not want to have any form of business to do with him. And now because I gave him deposit, I did not hear from him again. I gave him, okay, we're supposed to do a job. It's not too big. It's 300,000. We gave him a deposit of 150. Now he was supposed to get done with the UI for those three departments, three sites actually. So we have like a front end developer and a content writer that would bring content. So he shows a particular, he just brings up any design and whatever written content that should be there will be carved up by someone. And we got someone carved up. And this was the exact same thing he did to me last time. I employed front end developers and they were actively waiting for this guy to do his UI and his UX stuff so they can move it into coding. And our guy did not show up in any way. He kept stealing and stealing and stealing, and 1 month surpassed, and he was now looking at me like, "Oh, okay, you paid me an advance of salary. I'm expecting the balance of the salary," and I'm like, "I don't even know where we are on the project." And that was a riff for the two of us, and I had caught him out. Like I couldn't just, I can't deal with anything that will give me a headache. And I had gotten another UI UX, the guy that was doing well before I moved him to some other department, and then got a proper UI UX. So early this year now, I remember when I was talking about letting go of the past and all that. That was when I felt I had reconciled with the guy. Okay, he has been messaging me all through 2020. Sounded as if we had a thing going. He was sorry for letting me down the previous year. He wished he could actually modify things. So there was this new concept I learned early this year. It's a concept of the restaurant. It's called a restaurant principle. The restaurant principle, it's like a story where you're being told this. Say you walk up to a restaurant today and the day you came to the restaurant was the day the food was bad. So normally this restaurant cooks very delicious meal. Every day people are piling up at the restaurant. The food is perfecto. It's tasty. So on this day you went to the restaurant and that day happened to be your first day and something was bad. The chef had woken up from the bad side of the bed, or probably there was something wrong with the breed or the texture of the ingredients they bought, but the food wasn't good. And this restaurant that would usually prepare a very delicious meal prepared a flop for the day. Now, this is your first time eating in that restaurant. So, whether they've been cooking five-star meals before now, you don't have any knowledge of that. What you know, it's at the moment, this is the first time you're eating at this restaurant and it wasn't good. Now, whenever you're being told, to go to that restaurant, if at all someone tells you, oh, let's head to this restaurant. Yeah, that restaurant, I ate there the other day. The food was bad. I'm not eating there. You'll be able to turn it down, right? Now that is because that was the only memory you have of them. The first time their food was bad. Now the restaurant principal said that it was bad on your first trial doesn't really mean it was bad. It could just be the spices. So it's actually called the restaurant principle, where you do not really judge people or hold them by their error so much. Because that day they might have woken up at the bad side of the bed, or they might be going through a lot if it's in terms of business contracts, or basically they might have used or faced some challenges. I wanted to say use the wrong spices, but then if it's a job, maybe they also face a challenge. Maybe their computer went bad, got blown, maybe their system crashed, maybe something happened that could make them work effectively. So the way you're being told to give the restaurant a second chance and try to eat there again, maybe this time around you can actually feel the good tastiness of the food. It's the same way you're being told, like in real life, to give someone you have worked with another chance. And considering the fact that I once had him do a logo for me years ago and the logo was brilliant, I said, okay, fine. And I gave him another chance this year based on the restaurant principle that I learned. And I said, okay, maybe last day he was supposed to work, he had a thing going, probably life challenges, we can actually do better. And that was the same thing he did again. The last year when I paid developers who were waiting standby, the salary gone. That was not including his that I had paid. So and the developers I couldn't really say much because I had kept them like him, he spoke about a couple of challenges. That's why I made an upfront payment, which I think I feel a bit bad because every single person I have employed, I pay you only at the end of the month. But him, I made the false exception when he told me he couldn't really do the job even if he would want to because of challenge, and I did an upfront payment. The front end developers I employed alongside him, I did not pay any of them, not until the month ended and I had I couldn't really tell them stories because they were patiently waiting, right? You can't employ someone, you don't give them a tax to do at the office, and then you patiently wait at the month end and you tell them, oh, because we did not give you a tax, you were just coming to the office doing nothing, we can't pay you. It doesn't work that way. It's not their fault you didn't give them tax. It would have been elsewhere making else some other money if they weren't, sitting down at your office. Time is money. And so I had offset the bills. That was like two front end developers I had. They were all waiting for him. He was supposed to fix up, and then they develop. Okay, two developers, one front end and back end. One should develop the back end, the other one does the front end. And I had paid these people off last year. So the same thing happened this year. I still employed someone, content writer, had a front end developer to work with him. Out of the three projects, the only one he managed to do, he did not even execute anything around it. Like just the head, the banner, the footer. And that was how this guy ended. He was not telling the front end developer and the content writer that he wants to give them access to the Figma file so they can help him put in the content there. Like what does the content writer have to do on Figma? Putting up anything. Shouldn't it be the designer who will take in the tests and put the tests on the design? And then doesn't make sense to me. And I told him, you know what, I'm not pleased with this job. I'm not okay with it, and I'm not satisfied. This was what basically happened between us last time. Blah blah blah. He was like, okay, he doesn't know what to say. I said, of course you know what to say because I did a deposit again. Felt like a fool because I probably know him. It's annoying, It's annoying because every other single person works. In fact, you work if you don't even meet up with the tax, I don't pay you full. I short your payments. If you're being assigned a job and you don't do the job properly to my satisfaction, no one will pay you full. No one would actually pay you for it. It's not possible. We'll give you three tasks, you do only one. And you the other ones, not reasonable reasons, not because the first task wasn't, being able to get complete, like not like you can actually complete it within the time frame. For whatever reason, you stalled our time. Now you want to now extend job. You should do in a month for 3 months, and you won't add, no one will pay you. You would just the way you shut our tax. That's the same with your payment. I won't even wait for you. As you're shorting it, I will reassign that job to someone else. And at the end of the whole day, you might even be the one to balance the person for the job you did. Or because it was someone that I knew and gave him an advance, which I deeply regret. Funny enough, he's actually messaging me and he's telling me some other thing. How he wants to travel out and he's looking for who would help him get proof of funds. I don't want to block him. I'm not supposed to block a person like that. I really hate working with people that I know when I started my company. It's annoying. Most times they still want to see you with that eyes they used to know you years ago. That's why you see some companies they get big, they relieve old employees. Because those ones will not be like, oh, I want to be the boss one. No one will start this company. It was just six of us. Yeah, it's true. You have a right to be able to say, oh, fine. What I mean, it's annoying. It's really, really upsetting and annoying. The front end developer right now who worked with him, you know, didn't practically do much. It's painful. And now these are reasons why it's as if, like I was talking about the image of the company, this is why it's as if we don't really execute things well. Imagine employing someone to handle a particular one, the Danokec They didn't even finish it up. Now employ someone else to design Danokec.agency. They didn't even do it. And now if I decide to go and do these things myself, I can. I mean, I basically coded almost anything you see. Like virtually majority of my whole platforms, I did the coding because sometimes it's difficult employing people, you know. And I think I should have read more books before getting into business. Sometimes I tell myself, you're causing it. You did not make a whole lot of research. And that's why whenever I'm free, I don't spend my time on social media looking for one funny thing to make me laugh. I try to read because I know I'm really, really backward. I need to really try to meet up with what there's some know-how I should know that I don't even know. Okay, for instance, now you don't employ people who have a CEO mindset. Yeah, you don't employ. When I said that was I think I forgot the name of that guy. I forgotten his name. He had Vincent. I think that his name. He had this talk stuff on I think it was on YouTube I saw it, where he said you cannot employ a leader, a doer. You can only employ a follower. That anybody who is a doer already has things he wants to do. There are people who take in charge of their life. It's more like you cannot really employ a full-time business person. It's difficult. It's except you're doing the business on a commission. A full-time person wants to be able to make decisions in the business by himself. He wants to dominate. So if I employ a full-time business person, it will almost be like he's overriding my business. That is if at all he works for me, if he doesn't want to go and open his own. I was employing employees that had CEO mindsets, people that are working with me and are looking their time. And let me just gather enough money so I can start my business. I wasn't employing people. Oh my, what is wrong with my something is something is fighting my connection. Something is fighting my connection. Sorry about the flick on the camera. Okay. So I was busy employing people whom had mentality and mindset of how to be a boss. The chicken time. How long will I work for him? How long will I stop so I can start my own company? You know, I was employing people whom had divided loyalty. Not really, or divided commitment. Loyalty is not the word. The word is commitment. People who are working with me but still have another job with another company. So they practically have to ration the time they give me and the time they give another. What the hell is wrong with me? And this is why I hate remote jobs. Because this partitioning of, two jobs can be done when you're in a physical structure. Remote jobs, you don't even sometimes like I think it's remote jobs should only be given to people who have extra commitment and passion in what they do. Because people find it difficult to perform when they're not under supervision. Someone right now, you're giving him a remote job to get done with a particular thing. That is when his neighbor is coming inside to give him gist about what happened to the other neighbor. He leaves your job down and tells you how sad he would, at the 9 minutes he's catching rubbish. He's not even giving you his main focus into the whole job. It's just basically like the best type of job is to have people on a physical structure and then to have someone who would checkmate these people consistently at all times. Painful. Now the month of March finished. The UIX department, the other person who had sourced on my full-time employee, the one who had a contractual agreement with, did not execute. The other guy, my head of development, who was supposed to execute certain jobs for me, did not do his. So I'm left with paying people salary at the end of the whole month for jobs that were not done, and I dare not pay. They rush online right now. They say he doesn't pay. Yeah, I worked with him, and that's why I think I learned a whole lot. Within this month of April, I learned that query should never be done on call. If you're a business owner and you're watching this video or you want to go into business like tech business, please do not query your employees on phone. Send them a document. Send them an email. Not just an email. Send them an email that is letter headed. A query, letter of query. It is over a week we have not seen any substantial improvement in the task and job assigned to you. Do I remind you that you have been paid upfront or you have been paid to execute this job and time matters to the company? We as a company want to keep with timeliness and timeliness, and if you do not execute within your required time, you do not just give us a personal loss on your own end, but you give a loss on other departments. The front end development will patiently be waiting for you, and salaries of this front end development will be paid based on the efficiency. Your inability to be able to deliver your job on time, it's specifically affecting the punctuality of the front end developers. Please, do I remind you that if this really persists, we can file a suit against you for jeopardizing with the company timeline, and you could face legal act. Like you're practically telling your staff right now, see, if you don't do your job, if you make us come, they pay people salary at the end of the whole month, you go take a auto. You put all those things on writing. It's not something you just call them on phone, and you rake and you reach, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry." Okay, fine. You're sorry. Okay, you're giving them 3 to 4 queries, and those queries were undocumented. And then when you decide to sack them, they'll tell you Like, do you even have, if you decide to sue you for sacking them unjustly, do you even have any record to show that you could? It should be in writing that, oh, fine, you've been. Why do you think banks they send query? Everybody's scared of not having. Everybody's scared of not being in a position where they've accumulated so many queries. Because then, the moment you do so, it's a problem on its own. Your job is almost at risk. So how do you keep your? Do you even have a system as an employee where you log your query? If a staff is giving you too much issues, you keep giving them query. So the record can actually show on this particular date you queried for this, you queried for that. Now, if you choose to dissolve that contract, that is a whole lot of visible evidence. And then you also, that's the second thing, put in their tax or whatever you're assigning to them. This works with a tech firm. Let them know this is what you're expected to do. And this is the time you are expected to get done with it. Now, like I said, I wish I had learned all these things on time. Oh, you expected to do this within this time. You expected to do this within this time. And now you have a standoff every single day, or maybe every 2 days. Before I used to say every 2 days, let it be every day. Some employees will tell me, "Oh, I can't make it. I'm doing other things." I feel so upset with myself that I even allowed those kind of bullshit excuses to be brought to me before me. Like, it's annoying already. I don't want to even start being mad at myself right now. So I have to just tell myself, okay, fine, you have learned your lessons. Let's carry on. If you were working in a physical structure on not remotely, you would practically wake up every single day, put a collar on, head on head on a car, sit at the office all day and sit. And now all you have to do is to hop on a meeting for like an hour, and you're making complaints you can't meet up at every single day. That means that person doesn't even have commitment. The person is not even feeling the working environment and the working vibe. What the hell was wrong with me? How can I even employ people? God, I don't want to really feel bad about myself, but let's just assume I've learned. Standoff will be daily. What have you done today? Because realistically, every single business reviews what they've done daily. They have targets, and before everybody closes, you take it to the management and you let the management know what you have done for the day. If you're in a bank at the end of the whole day, oh, the bank has closed, every single person wants to go to the bank right now, to the bank manager. Okay, this is our account, balance the account with the accounting department. This is how much I deposited, this is how much was credited. The verdict, you go. If it's in a hospital, before you go, oh, these are the number of patients I checked up on. This is what I did. This is what I did. You go. If it's in a restaurant, the same thing happens. You do handover, you make a memo of every single thing you've sold. If it's in a supermarket, you do your inventory. You put the amount of things under your care and what you're living by. If it's security, you do briefing, you do changeover. Every single business should have, before the day runs, that what have you done? I think this is simply where the whole thing went wrong before my face. Letting people give me reports after a week. If they tell you they're so busy, that means if this company was telling you to come to the office, that means you won't be able to come. That means you find someone else as an employer. So what are you keeping? Are you begging them to work? You don't really understand that people will only be able to take it to the next stage if they have passion and commitment and it's what they want to do. It's not the skills they have, it's not enough. Are they willing to be able to work? Because if you see somebody who is willing to work and he doesn't even have all the skill will build up with time because he has that commitment. But if you have somebody who doesn't even want to work, he's just there with all his skills, he won't even be able to give you his barest. It will basically be under force, under duress. He won't be able to give you even up to average of what he should be able to do. So why look at skills and overlook, the fact that this person is not really to be able to be punctual, present at all time. And this is where I feel you need or I need a proper HR. This is simply where I think someone needs to be able to checkmate each and every one of these, departments to know what they have done. And it has to be somebody who would have commitment into seeing the growth of the company. It shouldn't be someone who would just come in and say, and that is the second thing. I was employing people based on sentiment. There was this friend of mine, isn't it? She's like, she's one of the best things that happened to me. Let me use that word. Because the kind of advice she gives me when it comes to business makes a whole lot of sense. She said, you employ people based on sentiment. You don't do it, oh, I know him. Now, who you know go do you pass? Oh? See, now, who you know, now if you borrow, buy goods for you, credit, sleepwear. If somebody who doesn't know you buys something for you on credit, is already had the opus, hey, I don't know what to tell this man. But who you know go come and tell you, say, no worry, now all of us day, now give me another one. No worry if I they come second time, now I go pay. And they will keep will sustain you. But let's don't go into that angle. So I am building up my LinkedIn profile now. And I've hired this consultant to work on that one. I have a good content writer, Ayo. I'm going to reach out to him this evening and have a short conversation with him. And I would want to build. Now, this is where I'm having issue. Ayo has a job at the moment. I don't want to work with people who have a side job. I feel my company needs people who are out to give all of it. I think I have an applicant who is a writer. But I will try and give Mr. Ayo a call after this gist. I want to start building content around my businesses. And I want to start making sure every single business, it's been the problem I have now is look at my agenda. I have so much I'm supposed to do. Okay, with all these plenty things I'm supposed to do right now, I still somehow, with all these my plenty responsibilities, with all these plenty things, I still have to somehow do both the job of HR, CEO, senior front end developer, manager. I just really feel like I did not plan my life well enough. And I'm happy I'm having this gist series because I'm learning so much. I got some suggestions yesterday and I think it's a beautiful growth. We're all growing here together. So that's what I'll do. But talking about I wanted to mention this the last time. I think I will maybe tomorrow talking about gambling. I want to outsource that thing to someone else. I want some other people to be doing all those betting, Bet Nigeria, Bet King. I want to start making content around business, around advice. I feel there's so much I can do to actually benefit people than playing sports betting online. I want to be the guy who created the AI prediction software that has powered, made lots of people rich, you know. Yeah, I want to create a working system, but more importantly, I want to really be of proficient benefits. I want people to not remain the same after meeting me. I want to be able to be of strong positive impact. And I don't really think those things will be done if I'm focused on frailties or frivolities. How do they put it in English? There are three things I want to start looking out for now. A good HR. Mm, a good HR. A good content writer that will also be a social media person. Someone whom he wants to be writing. Mm. And it has to be somebody whom I know would have, although people say no one has passion for work, everybody has passion for money. It's a lie. Oh. I feel some people really have passion for what they do. That if money is not a problem, they would want to do it for fun. So I would want to find that content writer. I think I should start putting my eyes. Then make this person fall in love with my idea and vision, and then have them build on it. Because I discovered that if your employees love you or fall in love with your concept, it's gone. Like my graphic designer, my UI UX, they basically watch my gist almost every day. They want to keep touch with me. They want to hear from me. They look up to me, right? They love the vision and the place we're heading to. And you still have some other employees whom the moment you give the moment if it was a physical office, the moment we close, they for just go. Nothing concern them with me. If you give them tax, they feel it's a good and a problem. They get within they bother them, or they get their own thing where they want to where they want to achieve. So you just be like, I beg, pay me salary at the end of the month. You just be one place where they get money. It's good find it out. That's why it's always good right now to be sending your tax to your employees. The biggest mistake I made was not assigning tax to them every month. before the month runs down as an employer, this should be work of HR anyway, because HR works with the project manager to know what the company wants to do, how the mode of operation, what the company is going to be like. So the HR constantly would now try to enforce those things, right? Like for instance, this is a company right now, and we produce soap. Now the HR will work with the operational manager to know, okay, this is how this company operates. We get to so material from Gabon. We buy this one from Senegal. We mix, we do, this is the mixture. After mixture, we package. After packaging, we move over to distribution and to our warehouse where the soap is now distributed to, our distributors. Now, the operational manager knows, okay, at each step now we're at the phase of importation. So the materials are coming. So while materials are coming, we still have the ones that have been processing. Okay, fine. The ones coming in, hope there's enough space in the warehouse. So, or because we're going to need enough space too, because more raw materials will be coming. So you people need to finish this one right now. So you'll be able to dispatch it to the distributors. Okay, now the operational manager is working on this. And now you have your HR getting to make sure, okay, everybody knows what they should be doing. Oh, this department, what are you people lacking? Okay, this department, we're lacking so and so pepper to use in wrapping the soup. It's finished. Oh, this is what are you lacking? Oh, we're lacking line. Oh, what are you lacking? So the HR now is trying to manage the human resources as well as the physical resources within the company, and now the operational manager is helping. So these are the two people who will be helping to. I think one person can actually be the operational manager and the HR. Marvin, my friend, gave me that. Chooks gave me that suggestion. I can make one person to be an operational manager. So in my own case right now, the way the company works, okay. Let's start with I think the operations of my businesses are even quite very minimal. It's not okay. Let's start with the Okek Energies, which is my most recent company. We import these cylinders now from China. Then we take them over to branding. They change the whole. They don't really change much, but they change the whole art within the sense that we brand each of the cylinder. We put in the Okek Energy logo around it. Now it gets done there. We take it to our warehouse, which is quite limited. We don't house so many cylinders at the moment. As time goes, I can get a bigger warehouse. Now, we have a little gas filler where we're able to refill gases. That simply means somebody makes an order, we take the cylinder, we fill it. So our operation comes in from cylinders received, importation of cylinder. Okay, move over to branding of cylinder. We have a department. Theirs is to brand. Move over to okay. We have an order department that takes in order. Somebody has made an order for a gas cylinder. Okay, this particular region within Abuja. Beautiful. We take it over. We'll fill up the gas. Beautiful. We do not fill and keep because it's not difficult to manage a lot of them and to avoid explosions. So we fill them. Okay, beautiful. We'll take it to the dispatch department. The dispatch department now delivers. Now the operational manager now can also be the HR. Then the person is keeping track of when the things will be landing. Yeah, if anybody wants to go off, they can tell them, oh, people can take 2 days off, oh, because from next week we're going to be having so many gas cylinders that will require a lot of branding. Now the HR will also be the one assigning tax to every person. You're supposed to at least finish up to 50 cylinders before today runs down. Because by calculation, if you finish 50 cylinders every day in a month, that is 150 cylinders. Maybe we'll pay you this amount of money. So if there's any day you shut us, you don't do your tax completely. You know your salary is reducing a bit. Now because we're not here for fun, we're here for business. So what is shaking this thing again? Or something is not beginning to shake my connection. Okay, back to what we're saying. So now the HR and the operational manager keeps track of all the employees to make sure everything and everyone is going very fine. Okay, beautiful. Uh, Move it forward a bit. Okay. If anything is lacking, oh, they lack this particular sticker for the rebranding. Oh, the dispatch rider said one of the bike is bad. Um, the HR should be able to reach out to the management. One of our bikes are bad. The management reaches out to the accountant to know the budget we have. Accountant lodge Susan so money that, oh, Susan so money was deducted from the company accounts to fix up the bike. Now the human resources, with the company resource, physical resources as well, which is the HR, will be the one to handle all those things with the help of the accountant and the management. Those things full. So the HR will also be the operational manager. They help to make sure the things that will be needed for operation are being done, which includes majorly the taxes that need to be employed with employees, that need to be assigned to employees, because that's where we started up this conversation from. We as a company need to be able to assign specific tax to people, giving them the amount of time they should use in executing that project. Because I just feel right now, I'm coming on LinkedIn, I'm coming on Twitter, I'm trying to make a presence. All this I've been on that Renaps guy. I want to be able to now be visible. But you can see that I spent more than a million this previous month. I spent more than a million. Both the money I paid UI UX, the one I'm paying, head of software, the one I've spent, the one I paid people for on Fiverr, the one I paid people to do this. I spent more than a million naira, and the website, both the Danokec group, the Danokec agency, none of them is even active. It's very annoying. So I think the best thing for me to do right now is to learn from my mistakes. This things happened because I was not doing daily stand up. If I had called every single person, maybe have a HR, I think my PA can actually double as my HR. Yeah, and this person would constantly daily, because it's a male right now. I don't want to work with females anymore. Constantly daily, have a stand up with them to know precisely what they've done. I need a proper HR. My PA shouldn't even be my HR, but I think my PA can actually be my HR for now. Depending on when we get one, I'll be able to keep track of everyone. But now it has to be somebody who is ready to, okay, which is the HR. There has to be someone who's ready to give in every single thing. No, I need a designated HR. And I want a HR who will be both an operational manager and a project manager. So I want a three in one. It has to be somebody whom has quite an understanding in terms of tech. Um, Someone who knows how to work with people. Someone who will be a bit strict when they have to be strict, and still yet still approachable and jovial. Someone who will be able to keep track of everyone. Who will be knowledgeable enough to know, okay, fine. This tax, we're assigning you this tax, and this is what you're supposed to do. Um, hmm. And it has to be the person's life. I think I only have one person who really fits these descriptions, but I don't know if he's a tech person, because it has to be somebody who would be able to know at least the basic concept of the tech aspects. The problem right now is almost everybody's having different plans. Nobody actually thinks. The few people I've known, everybody want to run away. They want to go to UK. They want to go to the US. Everybody feels okay once you just leave the country right now, but all their wishes comes to fruition. Because I think at my disposal I have someone whom I think might fit the job. I have two people. One is not really tech inclined, but I can bet 1,001%. Stephen or Stanley would do perfectly fine as a HR and project manager. But I don't know how proficient he is when it comes to tech. I think it's something we can have a conversation on. I can relate with him on a conversation. And then I have a very good friend of mine. But now he wants to travel out. So I think his whole brain right now is wired around how he wants to leave the country. You know, and I don't want people who would have other things on their mind, right? Why I said other things is we're building something big. We're building generational wealth. That's our motto over here. The Danokec Group is all about building generational wealth. So we don't see a future in doing any other thing different apart from building our core values, which is providing innovative solutions. So I have to work with people who really see what I'm saying. People who will be able to know if we put in effort to make these things work here in this country, here with our actions daily. They're not people who will be working for me per they check time or let me get something better as time goes on. So I still have a whole lot to learn. I still have a lot of books to read. This business stuff, it's not about how good you are as a software programmer. Now I understand why most, or they say the best software programmers are the ones who sit behind the desk and earn a salary. It's not the ones who own the company. People who even own tech companies are not even as shit creative as the employees they have. But one person just knows the act of business. It's an act. Just the way you know how to draw, dance, sing, business is an art. You have to be able to be in that frequency. While I was younger, if everybody goes to a club, they're basically reading and dancing. They like the music, they're dancing, they want to drink first, they want to shake the drink. But if I'm in a place, I'm actually calculating how much it was used to erect that place, how much the owner will be making daily or monthly. Anywhere I go where people are enjoying themselves, I'm thinking of how to monetize every single situation. So I think I had a business instinct. I think what really kept my business instinct in a way was my dad. I can remember how I would tell my dad then when I was younger that, oh fine, making money. Anytime I talk about money, we keep telling what do I know about money? What do I need money for? That I'm still too young and all that. I think those were part of what really disturbed me because my parents were both pastors. I'm actually just imagining they were business people. While I was young, I would go to a game hall. Yeah, I remember it. It was a game hall. I went to a game hall because I like PS then. And even one of my uncle had a PlayStation game hall. And I told my dad one time that I want to buy PS2. I want to buy plenty game, so I can have my own game hall too and be making money because I had a lot of friends who don't mind playing PS1 and PS2 as of then. My dad did not honor it. He was actually more focused on what, as little as you are, what you want to do with money, and he was so fixated on it. So looking back at it, I'm like, okay, imagine he was a bit supportive, probably got me those video games, encouraged me more about business. You know, I think business is an act. Instead, they wake us up in the morning and they tell us to read Bible. My name is Pastor Dan, and shit, maybe they call Pastor before. I grew up doing fasting. If I close my eyes, I imagine I will lay my hand on the dead and the dead will rise. I will touch the blind and the blind will see. I'll be watching different pastors on social media. I was so obsessed with Pastor Benehin, Reverend Bonky, Joe Austin. I wanted to be a pastor. They used to call me Pastor Daniel. And I read the Bible very well. In fact, that's why it was easy for me to become an atheist. They say when you read the Bible so much, you become an atheist because you get to see the whole. I don't want to go into them before religious people now start thinking about attacking them. But I'm actually just thinking if my family was business oriented, where my dad would be sharing business deals with us, how he got contracts, how perception matters, how he executed core values of businesses. Maybe he helped me open that PS game hall, gave me a loan, was helping me monitor it, asking me how much did you make today from your game hall. And I said that I made 3,000. Said your sales last week is bigger than this one. So what happened? Why is your business not going well? Credit. Stop giving people credits. When I had a business years ago, I gave credit. This happened to me. My son stopped giving credit, and then maybe the following week I don't give credit. I'm not making so much money. I maybe realize that my mom is a business person. She's not like, I went to your shop today, and the whole place was a bit, what is it called again? Was a bit stuffy. So I'll buy you an air condition so that place becomes a bit, comfortable for your customers. And then maybe the next thing mommy buys me the AC and my game hall becomes the biggest game hall and everybody's coming there to play PS2, PS3. I would have been learning how packaging and customer satisfaction, what it does. And let's say as we proceed, we go on, I'm not discovering that people go out. I start doing utility survey. Maybe daddy asked me one day that do you do survey? Tell your customers what they would like. daddy, wife, you're head in business, you know what customers like. What takes your customers away from your game hub most times? Maybe I do a survey and I hear, oh, it's feeding. Maybe somebody will be like, I want to eat. Let me go and buy gala like a Sarah front. And from there, they just go home. It's the same thing with sports betting. If you have a Bet King shop or a Bet Niger shop, and somebody just throws to go and buy recharge card at the other side of the street, or somebody just throws to go and buy food. After buying the food, most times their stomach will get big. They'll just look at their account and say, I don't think they gamble since morning. I never will. Man, go. Man, just go as God rest. Maybe today no be my luck. Only because they stayed away from the betting house. But if they were close to there and there is food there, they will likely not leave. Maybe my parents saw like, that's okay. And then they helped me. Maybe I start buying snacks. I will now go to Aba from Port Harcourt, buy cartons of gala, buy like a Sarah, maybe start selling drink while I'm playing my PS. Oh boy, imagine having a game hall from that stage, from that age, can they grow? So I feel if I had a different upbringing, maybe things would have been different. But like I said, these things are gone. You can't go back to change it. So I feel like I have a whole lot to learn. I didn't really have a good business knowledge, and it's something I want to build, right? And like I said, it's not about how good you are as a software programmer. In fact, the best or the biggest CEOs when it comes to tech companies are not even that good of a programmer. They're just good in business. Business is an art. It's something you learn. Like what brought all those my plenty story now is because I was saying it's something you learn is an act. If I had parents that were into the act of business, they would have taught me a whole lot about the acts. I would have grown up. I would have even had this Dannyokec group years ago because I know I grew up as a child wanting to really really establish, but I was not having any helper in any way. So imagine I had people who really paid attention, who loved business. Maybe I would have been a billionaire long even before now, but it's good. So now I'm not even focused so much on learning plenty things. So I'm not looking for one new programming. I'm tired of programming. I can learn any programming language I want. Software is something I know. I'm already a programmer, so learning new things are not difficult for me. What I feel I need at the moment in my life is to learn about business. I want to start giving business my everything. So I want to start reading books around business. I want to listen to business seminar. I want to join business community. I want to be able to start understanding how I can take my business to the next level. That's what I think I need. I don't need another new coding language. What do I want to do with it? I can employ somebody who knows it and pay them handsomely. And maybe they've even spent years in it. How long do I have in my life? I want to start learning the programming language. I just need to make enough money. They say make enough money so you can afford time. As I am, I can go through the stress of learning new programming languages. Beautiful. But I can still employ people who know that employ the best of mindsets who would have passion to work with me. Make them comfortable by providing all they will need to be loyal. And drive them towards becoming a billionaire. Or all become that okay group dynasty. That's what I need. I don't need to start sitting down to learning languages. I don't tire for coding. I need to learn more about business, about management, about marketing. Your goods might not even be anywhere close to that of other people, but the way they go package and they go dey sell millions of naira. You will get the main product, sabi do anything wey concern marketing. Your product na you only you and your children go chop am. So I need to learn how to take my content. I need to know how to package myself. If I dey verified for all social media, bad. Imagine being verified at every single social media. Imagine having a proper functional firm, where operations are run independently of me. God forbid now they drive my Ferrari and I go enter on that trailer and my business will still work well without my absence, without my presence. This should be the dream. And this should be what we should be working on. The next programming language will help me manage or achieve all this. It's the next book on business, learning how to properly structure myself. If you start reading more on law, as I am now, I should start having a proper way to designate my property, a proper structure. No be if I die today right now, I can't see my family will not even come anywhere around me. They can't they drag things to my beautiful my beautiful kids. I beg, I beg. So I need to do something about that. And that is where I need to start studying more. And I think I will just try, like I said, I'll use this April to finish everything I have to do with Renaps. I know what I'll do. I'm going to from now till my birthday. Let me just be coding and doing marketing. From my birthday, I want to resign on coding, but I want to be able to code everything before my birthday Why is I want to resign on code? I want to be doing more of management. I want to be advertising. I want to employ people to handle it. I don't want to be coding again. I want, if I sit down on my computer like this, it's me reading a book on business, going for a business conference. If I'm coding, it's maybe me doing little things, trying to learn new languages. I don't want to be doing actively coding anymore. I want to be able to. I want to be a billionaire. It doesn't work with me coding. It works with me managing, going for those pitching, getting new investors, making some marks, doing things that will make me be on the news, getting myself verified and noticed to the whole world. It's not by sitting down here on my computer looking for the next script to write and the next code to write. So I think I've woken up to consciousness. This is the 21st of um this is the 21st of April. I don't want this just to exceed more. So I've gotten a LinkedIn consultant. I'll be working on building up my accounts. I want to hop on a call with Ayo, then Elijah. I really feel bad. The Dannyokec wasn't launched. My employees, they're making life hard for me in a way. And it's not their fault, it's me. There was no stand up daily. And there was no email showing them their tax. There was no query whenever they come short. It was just come here, work as you want work. At the end of the month, Odogu King Danny go pay you. Or maybe if he doesn't pay you, you drag him online that he's owing you salary and make it look like he's the one owing you when you did nothing. So I think it was me. That's why I said I want to leave coding so I can properly manage this, my dream company. Okay, so that is enough for today. 21st. I think I'll be making this just early so I can have time to talk with you people. I think I'm always in a hurry to make this just. I'm always trying to be quick so I can run and upload before the day clicks to another day. But I think making this just like this, in a more comfortable setting, it's the best thing. Okay, so till next time, this is Daniel Keck. Stop it now.